are live. Happy Thursday, everybody. Daniel Allison, the average dude, with the number one co-host in all of South Carolina, Freddie and Bobcat.
I'm number one. I'm number one.
He's number one. He's number one. We love Freddie's confidence. We love his energy. We love every bus rider that gets on the bus every single weekday morning. Live 7:55. We're going up on 400 episodes in a row, Freddie Blanton. What do you think of that?
Ooh, it's getting close. There could be a big celebration at 400 episodes.
There may be a huge celebration. And you know what? Today, we might just celebrate today. Jacob is on the bus. Jacob is on the bus. Let's go. Good morning, Jacob. Great to see you back here on the bus. And commenting. He was having trouble with his comments, he told me. So great to see you back, Jacob. Good morning and happy Friday Eve. Jacob, tomorrow's Friday. Hey, when you think of Aaron Jacobitz, what do you think about?
Refrigeration Heroes.
Boom, right away.
Yeah.
That's when we know we've done some good marketing. We see Aaron Jacobitz and we think Refrigeration Heroes. He's doing a great job over there. Good morning, Vicky Watts. Great to have Vicky on the bus.
When you see Vito, what comes to your mind?
Benefits, my 360 benefits, someone that understands the game, understands that world, knows how to connect people, who has great energy, who's more interested in working for and doing a good job for people than she is in collecting that next paycheck. Now, she wants that money, but she wants to make sure that the business owner is happy, and there is a difference, and those are the folks we want on our team. Ski 75 today. Crazy.
Yeah. I got on short sleeves.
That's the thing about the South. You've got on short sleeves. Everybody was dressed for warmer weather this morning at the workout.
Whoa. Not everybody. You look like you were going skiing still. Did you actually wear a ski suit to the workout?
Let me tell you what happened. This morning at exactly Stan Parker, who I ride with to the workout every single Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, he calls me. Hey, why didn't you text me back? I said, because I just woke up. And he said, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So I was running around. I said, I don't want to be cold. And so, yes, I overdressed. And thankfully, you didn't mention it not one time in front of the entire group and didn't get on my nerves not one time the entire morning. It was amazing.
I was just wondering where your lift ticket was.
Oh, boy. You need a Freddie Blanton in your life, folks. You really do. Job security, Aaron Jacobitz, Vicky. Hey, we're excited. We're going to probably have some more bus riders piling in. That happens when we have a great guest incoming. And we've got another one. We've been having quite a few. Do you like the interviews of the guests, Fred? You like doing that?
I know that you do all the hard work and all the prep, and I just get to sit here and enjoy it.
Dude, that doesn't seem fair. You're just going to ride my work. Well, it's interesting that you say that. Good morning. We've got a new bus rider. We're here every single weekday morning. Hope you can join us again. There's Joe. Great to see Joe. It's funny. And I do love doing a little bit of research, right? We get to know the human being, and it doesn't matter if it's a sales prospect or if it's somebody coming on your podcast or if you're meeting someone for coffee. I think it's a good idea to kind of think about that person.
Yeah. But is Joe a Yankee?
Joe is a Yankee.
Okay.
He's just south of our guest, so that we'll have to decide what is actually a Yankee. But, you get online and you look and you see a lot of information. You see the profile. You can Google somebody, but there's nothing like actually talking to the human being.
Real human connection?
Oh, maybe it's real human connection. But it's, hey, have we mentioned it once or twice on this program?
If we're on the same frequency on the same day, we've mentioned real human connection, which helps us with our proximity.
Or something like that. Something like that. Hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to read this intro and we're going to talk to our guest. Known as the Morpheus of hiring, Michael J. Kanatsky is on a mission to fix a $3 trillion talent crisis. That's a lot of money, $3 trillion. A former Soviet refugee who learned early on that human capital is the only asset that truly lasts, Michael now helps leaders bypass broken algorithms to build relationships first. Through real speed networking, he is teaching the world to prioritize who people are over what they do. One more time, through real speed networking, he's teaching the world to prioritize who people are over what they do. Please welcome Michael J. Kanatsky.
Let's go. What an intro.
Wow.
Yeah, well, hey, it's great
Russian
to see
refugee?
you.
Jesus, man. Yeah, like I had like a stick in a bag and we just, by foot, we walked over so much,
Oh yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I did use the AI tool to help me do some things, including your picture, your image, which you said I got totally wrong. Tell me what I screwed up with the image, please, Michael.
I mean, I think you got
Everything.
you got the eyes right with the sunglasses, but everything else that made me look like really cool James Bond type was just, I wish it was accurate, but it's just not accurate.
It's not accurate. So that's not necessarily your style. You've had a lot of business success, but we really wanted to hear the story of Michael. And I love doing something called the time machine and taking folks back. So we read the story, but you lived the story of your coming to America, the trip to America. So take us back to, what was it? You were a young man, obviously, like 5, 6 years old. What was that like?
Yeah, 1988, so still communist Russia. So there's like two types of people that came over from Russia. There was the ones that left pre-Soviet collapse, and then those that came after that. And for some reason, they're two very different types of people. Like you could almost tell immediately for some reason. I don't know why. But I think it's just because the ones that came after, for them, it was like, hey, you want to go to America? Yeah, let's go to America. For us, it was like 9 years of fighting and trying to get out. They're like, you got to leave everything. You got to drop everything. So we basically, I wouldn't have been born had my parents been let out in 79. Or a version of me would have been born, maybe a better one, to be honest, now that I think about it. But, so we got let out finally 88. My aunt had left in 79. So we kind of had the visa where we got pulled in. We didn't have to go through, everybody went through Italy or through Israel for 3-4 months because you couldn't go directly from Russia unless somebody was like, hey, I'm inviting you, I'm here. And it was a crazy story because that's 6.5. And this is kind of what formulated my thought process and my personality as it pertains to like the whole human side of things. I remember that we lost everything because not only could you not bring a lot, it was whatever you could pack in a suitcase. So we had to give away cars. You couldn't, all the money you had to give away. The communist Russia is like, we gave you this, we will take it back. So you gave everything away, or you try to sell it, which you couldn't. So you really can't sell what you don't own. It's communist Russia. So we kind of half-assed sold things, my father did. And we had, I think, $500 of equivalency of American dollars. And we had 6 suitcases full of every single thing we had. And whatever the carry-on stuff was, right? Which is really not much. So when we get to United States, we're like there for hours. I remember in JFK, and they're like, your suitcases are not here. And we go, okay, fine. Look, here's our address. You can, they'll arrive later type of thing. They were stolen. Like,
oh my gosh,
they're just gone. And it's
welcome to America.
Right. And so that was my first inkling where I think it was really embedded in me, where things just don't mean shit. Just like nothing means anything. But I remember the feeling I had leaving. And as a kid, leaving my family behind, And then remember the airport, it was like, I'm crying. They're like, last boarding for J. And I'm crying my eyes out, like hugging my cousin, who was like my closest person to me in my world. I'm like, this is like, I'm never going to see this person again. So that tear of us, and like, by the way, a year and a half later, he was here. But for me, at
Good.
that age, a year and a half
Oh,
later,
yeah.
it was
You didn't know
50
what was going to
years.
happen.
Yeah, it was 50 years. It was, it wasn't a wormhole. It was the opposite. It was like, Jesus Christ. So I didn't know. And so that, I think, forged in me where it was like, nothing else matters except human connection, because that's the thing that was torn away from me. And the thing that I never even realized what I lost. Like to this day, honestly, if somebody knew what happened, they should have come to me and been like, yo, you're going to be a spy. There's no evidence you exist. You don't have a birth certificate. We barely have any pictures of you. I could be a
Yeah.
perfect spy. I have
You
zero
could have been
existence.
007, man. I'm telling you, I saw the future somehow.
I mean, maybe I am. Who knows? Right? It still could be KGB. You don't know. But there's
Yeah.
no evidence of my existence. And then you start talking about the fact that I have 2 birthdays because of a weird thing that happened in Russia during the year I was born. Like my life story is, if somebody was to make it actually interesting and was like, this is what happened here, but let's write a nice, interesting like story about it. It would be the perfect story of like, this is where this person became a crazy assassin. You know, I mean, that's basically like
The
no
turning
birthdays.
point.
Yeah, it was just crazy stuff that happened to me that I cannot explain. And every time I tell people, they're just like, that's just the most bizarre freaking story in the world. And
Well, I've got a question for you. I'm gonna jump in here, but I'm wondering if Freddie's got a question before I ask this one. You have a question, Freddie?
I just think it's a prime example of how someone can use the past to start building their attitude towards the future.
Absolutely. He's learning mindset right away.
Yeah.
And that's in line with what I wanted to ask your parents, like, because I'm curious where your mindset was developed, and it's interesting, Michael. Your parents, like, are you more like your dad or your mom, and what was their attitude? Y'all have lost all your luggage. You're a kid. He's got to take care of things.
you know, back then, as my brother was 13, I was almost 7. So looking at it, and then looking at my parents, who were at the time, if I think of it now, were children. My mom was 35. My dad was younger than I am now. And they came here in communist
Mm.
Russia. There's no digital anything. There's no translation. It's like no English, no nothing. They show up, they have $500. All our luggage is gone. And with what they did here, with what they actually started with, I still to this day don't understand it. You know, we talk about like how we can, and if you look at what's going on here right now, my generation, right? Maybe our generation, millennials, our parents, just based on what's going on in the economy and just the world, there is no way we can be as successful in the livelihood aspect of things like home ownership and just the simple things that were easier back in the 70s and 80s. But I look at it and go, I can't even achieve, I don't think, because of how difficult it was what my parents did. And I don't know how they did it. And not only them, but my entire family, all of that family came over and they all had no English. They all worked. They became something. They created incredibly successful adults, except my parents. They somehow got me, but everyone else got this really successful person that is just, these people are standouts and they've achieved and they bought real estate. And I think back and they did it making nothing. Nobody had a real career because you couldn't come in here and go, oh, you're a surgeon back there. Okay, great. You're now here, go operate. It was like, oh, you're a surgeon. Great. You can go be a med tech. Hand me the scalpel. You know, it's like the massive decline. My father, who in Russia was a massive businessman, to this day, I can't even believe the story. I got pulled over by a cop in 2008 when I went to Russia because I did something illegal and the cop pulled me over. Crazy story. And as he pulls me over and he's like, oh, he looks at my license and he goes, oh, you're an American. Oh man, that's going to be rough. And right after I gave him the $20 to pay him off, which is rubles, which is what you do there, he goes, Kanansky. And he starts asking me questions. And I'm like, yeah. And I give him, he goes, oh my God, your father and grandfather were, I was like, what the? He was like, your father and grandfather were like, oh, they were such respectable people. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you're, I'm like, what? You know, like random. And I'm sitting in the car with a cop in the police car. He's showing me pictures of his kids. He's like, yeah, this is what it's like. I'm just talking to the cop on the side of the road. And I'm just like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. How do they know me? I've been gone for so long. how do they know my father's name? But that name resonated. My father came here with that. It's like, let's say Donald Trump goes to China and he's like a pizza delivery guy. That's basically what my father did here. Because in 88, 89, what else are you going to do? You have 2 kids. You need to make money fast, right? So he went and worked at a car dealership and he delivered pizza. And off of that, he bought my mom a business. She had a business. He bought multiple properties. And I have no idea how he did it. So with Forged and me, 12 years old, I started working because I saw how hard they were working. I'm like, I cannot rely on them. Not that I can't. I don't want to rely on them. I don't want to put pressure on them. So I started working at 12. And since that day, like around 12 years old, really, I don't remember many occasions where I ever really took money from my parents for like, hey, I need to go do this. I bought my own car. I bought my own computers. I know my father, paid for college, which was not really a lot because I stayed home. But I never really remember asking them. So it kind of forged me to that thing probably ruined me a little because I actually, because of that, was like, oh, you can't rely on anyone else. You got to be self-sufficient. And that forged me to always want to help, but suck at asking for it.
What comes to mind with that story?
Oh, well, when humans have no other option, you would be amazed what you can do. If you convince yourself this is what I have to do, it's my only option, amazing things will happen.
Amen. And ego is the enemy. How often does ego get in the way of the sales deal, of the relationship, of whatever it is that we're trying to do? And confidence is one thing, ego is another. Michael's dad, I mean, he sounds like you came from pretty good stock, right? He's successful over there. He has to really get humbled and come over here with nothing, doggone delivering pizzas. But when you can when you're talented and you can take that kind of egoic punch, man, that says so much. That says so much.
Don't we all need it occasionally?
We all need an egoic punch right square in the nose so that we don't start thinking too. We start getting unbalanced. We're
As
too
my
down
mom
on
would
yourself.
say, you're getting too big for your britches.
Too big for your britches. Hey, let's read some of these.
That doesn't work in my generation because they all wear very tight pants.
You're right. Yeah.
If you're not too big for your britches, you're
you're from New York. Is that what's in up there? Like really tight pants up in New York?
I mean, it depends what part of New York you're in. There's certain parts of New York where that's still very, very cool. And then everybody else now is going to the oversized again. As my wife tells me, oh, it's back in again. It's back in again. That's why I think fashion is such a racket. They just,
it's a full circle. Just wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you like? Hey, good morning from Lakeland, Florida. Where do you like to go on vacation, Michael? You live in New York, and where do y'all like to travel?
My wife is a huge, if my wife was basically had a job right now, she's already at the level where she could be writing for Condé Nast Traveler. She is like if you look at her Instagram, it's basically curated pictures. We go Europe a lot. She loves Europe, South America, Argentina, Chile, really. So Americans, and this is I'm actually literally going to be calling out Americans. The majority of Americans will not leave their state because it's this, like, I know people that are like, I don't need to leave New Jersey. What the, I got Jersey, sure, I go down. Skiing, I go up. What do you mean I got to go to Europe? I'm like, wow. And that's just, there's many people I know that just never left their home state. And I'm like, if you guys, anybody ever have a husky? They say, be careful with a husky, which is my cousin, Misha, the husky. They can't be contained. You let a husky do whatever, it will find its way out. It will run away and it'll come back like a week later. You're like, where the hell did you go? He's like, what are you talking about? I went for a trip. I'm not hanging out here because they can't be contained. They need to run around. They're doing thousands of miles across freaking, the plains of snow because they need to run. But I feel like a husky. I'm like, I don't want to go somewhere. And so we always go as far as we can. My son has kind of been a tag along with us, and you can't go wrong. But the saddest thing for me is the realization that we don't have a lifetime to even see everything I would want to see in one country.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's the saddest part. Like when we went to Italy, we found this place called Matera. It's like the oldest city in the world. It's 10,000 years old. And I was standing there. We found it by accident. I said, "How many Materas are there in Italy that we just will never see?" And then there's 150 other countries I'd love to see. That's the saddest part, and I think a lot of people just avoid that and just say, I'm just gonna be comfortable where I'm at. I don't need to go anywhere. I'm gonna go to the same diner on Saturday. I'm going to read the same paper. I'm gonna sit and watch the same show. I'm gonna use my same cup. I'm gonna have my same routine, and they kind of glide off into this kind of obsolescence in a sense.
Hey, I'm glad that we went down this path. I mean, the truth is, looking back on my life, I wish that I'd done more traveling, right? Just because I know what you're saying. And sometimes we wonder, why do we take action? Why do we meet new people? Why do we do this thing called, raw speed networking and meet human beings? So we can get inspired. Like if you're not traveling, you meet somebody and they're traveling. Well, maybe I should start traveling a little more. And we talked about it yesterday. Desire goes a long way. It motivates you. It gives you something to go for. If I'm going to the same doggone restaurant, can I get excited about that? Maybe I can, maybe I don't. But
It's
I
a
like
cheers
that.
mentality, right?
That's what?
There's a cheers mentality where everybody knows your name, but
That's right.
I show up, hey man, the usual, of course, the usual, yeah, blah blah blah. You sit there, it's comfortable, and that's the word du jour, right? Comfort. I mean, think about everything else, right? Like everything in the United States, I think, if you think about, if I were to describe this country, I would say comfort. The pursuit of comfort is the thing that I would describe the United States, because it's like, I want everything to be easy. I want everything to be press a button. I don't want to go here. I want everything delivered to me. Like the whole idea of food delivery is an American thing, right? Like in Russia, it's all like, oh yeah, Domino's, look, Domino's, get your ass in here and freaking eat, right? But here, everything is easy. And I think comfort is the thing that actually is where people fall into it. And I think comfort is the problem with everything, because you don't want to challenge yourself. That's probably why so many people talk about their traditional career, right? 30 years in a career. Why do you think hiring is so bad here? People hire for their own comfort. I've worked in 14 industries and I don't know anything about anything. And I always tell people, like, if you are comfortable and the person you're talking to is comfortable, you both are locked in to the only thing that both of you know, which is why hiring is destroyed in this country, because everybody hires for what they understand. They do not hire what they don't understand. What they don't understand is not an opportunity to learn more. It's a risk. And everybody here is risk averse. So they go, I'm not going to do that. That's no square peg, square hole. I like that. If you are a triangle, or better yet, we have a square, but you look a little diamond shaped. Wow, you're really shiny. But this diamond literally doesn't fit into this square box.
Yeah.
F the diamond. That diamond sucks. Go get a square. So they go and get a little stupid block and they throw the diamond away.
Amen, brother. I hope everybody followed that one. It's true though, isn't it, Fred? It's like, you hear about companies. I was thinking about the whole recruiting world. You hear about companies, we need great people. We can't find great people. We're not anywhere. And then you see great people saying, we can't find great companies. Where are the great companies? I mean, and then you see resumes and you see how folks, you see all these things, and we don't want information. We don't want new information that makes us feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, it seems like such an old school world. The resume, the hiring, the interviews, the squares and the square holes. It's such an old school event. It needs some new life.
Here's what I would say, and these guys are probably thinking about it, but I'm just riffing. Raw speed networking. When if I'm hiring someone, I don't even want you to be thinking that I might be hiring you. I just want to see what kind of human I've got in front of me.
You just pointed an idea that I already am working on.
Okay, beautiful. Hey, but it's an idea of this is who I'm trying to find the truth. I don't care if it's a sales call, a podcast, or anything like this. We need to establish trust so that we trust each other and can talk freely and comfortably, and we know each other.
You know what I call that?
What?
Being a dick. Now I'll explain. It's a D period, I period, C period, K period. But I call it being a dick because when I say it, people go, oh, that's not. Let me explain. You want to be dumb. If you're dumb, you're going to be inquisitive, right? If you're inquisitive, you're going to be curious, and you always want to be kind. Dumb, inquisitive, curious, kind, right? If you just ask questions, you don't have to know anything, right? The only reason that I've been successful in 14 industries is because I'm the dumbest question asker. I approach everything, and I think that people have forgotten this. And this is the same idea of raw speed networking and how you meet people. If we approach life like a 5-year-old, okay, curious, you don't care what people think, you ask what you want to know, you're genuine, you really want to know the answer, and everything is simplified because everything in life is damn simple and we overcomplicate it. I believe thoroughly, like especially in the sales world, I thoroughly believe that everyone does everything they can to overcomplicate everything for the one mere fact that they just want to sell you the oversimplification of it. That's it. And so if I was doing a training 2 days ago and I just went around the room and I said, do you remember meeting your wife? And one guy's like, well, not really. I was 12. I'm like, okay, what happened? He goes, I came up to her on the playground and I said, hi, I'm going to marry you. And I did. I'm like, do you think you would do that at 40? He's like, no. I'm like, you know why? He's like, because that's weird. I'm like, no, it's not weird. You were taught to believe that it's weird. 5, 12, 10-year-olds, they don't have weirdness. They're like, I like that girl. I'm going to marry you. That's how they feel. It's genuine. They don't care that you're going to say you're weird. Right now, we all judge and go, oh, that's going to be weird. I can't approach her. I can't do this. And by the way, look at how sales is. I can't come up to this person and say, hey, Dan, we do this. Would it be helpful? Oh, how dare you? No. I need to plug and touch you in 15 places on social. I need to pretend to endorse your skills that I've never heard of that you have or not. I need to comment on your post so you think I'm really genuinely interested in you just so I can manipulate you to breaking down your barriers so that you respond and I can sell you something. Instead of just saying, let's skip all that and say, Dan, this is what I do. Is it valuable to you? No.
Weird.
Yes. Very weird, right?
I love that. I love that. It makes me think, and I'm as you were saying that in sales, in prospecting, Fred, I remember one time I was eating a Bojangles biscuit, Cajun filet biscuit, drinking some coffee, and I looked over and I didn't see this building before. I could see that they had some equipment that I could service, and I didn't see it before. So what I did, I walked in there and I told them exactly what happened, Michael. I said, hey, I was standing over there. I was eating a biscuit, drinking some coffee, and I saw the equipment that you had, and it made me walk over. And I mentioned that because it was just the truth of the situation. It was genuine. It wasn't meant to be a sales technique. It was, this is why I'm here. And there's something about the truth and the way that it resonates and how effective that can be. Fred, what's on your mind?
Oh, I'm just sitting here thinking, I hope everybody is a dick today.
I know. I love that acronym. The shock value of the word.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing that I actually try to say things that have shock value because I think that I like to see people's reaction before they know what it means. Another funny one I'll give you, and this one I've been using for a long time, trying to get people to kind of understand sales. Probing, you'll say do probing sales. Like it's the same thing, right? Curious, inquisitive, but do probing sales questions. You got to probe, you got to ask questions, right? Keep asking. So I tell people it's a call and ask-a-py.
Call. Yes, got it.
Right? Probing, colonoscopy. Anybody over the age of 50 probably is like, I know what that is. Probing, yes.
I know that I'm supposed to know what that is. Yeah.
I'm supposed to know what a colonoscopy is. Yes.
Yeah.
I say it's a call endoscopy because it's just funny. I try to test things, and a lot of people, they like, oh my God, that's so cringeworthy. I'm like, you know what? It's only cringeworthy because we're all trying to be something that we think other people want us to be. We're not just being ourselves. And how is it to just be ourselves? Like, what is it like when you are just you? And you become almost like a caricature of yourself in a sense, right? But it's just, I think that the problem is that, oh, my friend Eugene is actually listening. This is great. Write a comment, Eugene. I got a text message from my friend Eugene. He goes, you're a dick.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah. But I think
Well,
this is the thing, man. This is the problem, right? And everybody's just overthinking things too much.
Well, hey, this has been fantastic. I connected with you. I connected with Mr. Raw. What y'all are doing with Real Speed Networking. Comment on that. Tell folks what you're doing with the Real Speed Networking and excuse me, Raw Speed Networking.
So it's the concept. We came up with this concept. Both of us have had different experiences of how we got to this point, but I can tell you for me, 2024, I did about 1,000 Zoom calls. And I literally did those 1,000 Zoom calls by reaching out to people in my network I was connected to that I had never talked to, by saying, hey, we've never really had a conversation. I'd love to just get to know you in a no agenda chat. And I, did this at great scale. Everybody responded. I had all these conversations with people, and I realized, people are there's too many agendas behind what people are doing. And then when Steph and I met about 2 years ago, we started talking, and about November, I went to a networking event. I was like, the idea is cool, but it's kind of stupid. And everybody's just like, blah, hey, my name is, I do blah, blah, blah. And he said, that's a waste of time. And he went and did one. And he said, God, I went one. It was so much fun, but it also sucked. And we just started talking, and we said, let's throw something together. That was like mid-November. We just threw something together, created it. I started inviting people at scale. We got 40 people to the first. We're like, wow, everybody loved it because it was like 8 minutes. Don't talk about what you do. Don't talk about the weather. Don't talk about anything except, hey, how are you? And get to know the person. And again, there's no posturing. Like, I don't know if you're a CEO of $1 billion company or if you're a waiter. I don't care. We don't know who you are. Now, of course, there won't be a waiter on there because it's only leaders. We're trying to keep it at people who are lonely at the top and they just want to talk to someone who gets it, but not about, can you give me an idea of what I should do with my KPIs? Just, how you doing, man? Because loneliness is a big pandemic. It's really horrible. And we threw it together, and then we did it again, and that doubled. And then we did it again in February, and that doubled from the one prior. We just did a call yesterday. There was 100 people on that call, and that's just one, not three. And we just started realizing that people really do want human connection rather than connectivity, which we've mistaken in technological era, where I can comment, I can message you, I can email you, I can call you, I can text you. The Pony Express for 1 year ran. Do you know that was 1860 to 1861? And the Pony Express had a better deliverability rate and a better reply rate to letters by a horse and buggy and a guy than email and text do today, and InMail and LinkedIn. So any technological connectivity method today, the Pony Express 175 years ago was better.
It's amazing.
You know why, though? Why?
I have no idea.
Personal.
Because people actually cared about the scarcity of the message, and they knew that it was genuine. They knew. Today, it's like I sent 50 messages to people, and they're like, yeah, I'm one of 50. Go F yourself. They're not going to reply.
They didn't feel special.
They didn't feel special. Yeah. Remember the beeper? How excited you were to get 25 cents to put in a freaking machine when a number came up. You're like, I don't know who this is, but I got to call him right now. And you're like, hello, you beeped me.
That's right. That's right. Or it's like Carson Fox does. We had a guest, Michael, that he writes cards. He wrote one to me and Fred after he was on the show. So I'll be waiting on a card from you. So I feel special, by the way. Just kidding. But
give me your address.
But I thought that was special, right? It was something different and something that stood out. Joe says, ask the who and the why and not what you do. I think that's a fantastic thing. Get curious about people. Be a dick. If my mom's watching, she's going to get on to me. But hey, Michael made me say it, Mom. But
don't be scared to be the dumbest, right? People are scared to be the dumbest guy in the room. I said this to Stefan, and I had it on my profile. He was like, "Oh man, people are going to think you're dumb." I'm like, no, the real skill that I have in life, and it's not even a skill, it's just what I care about, is I want to be the dumbest guy in every room that is the right room. That's my only goal in life. Be dumb, be in the right place. That's it. And if I can accomplish that disparity, I'm always the dumbest, but I'm always in the right room, then I'm technically not the dumbest anymore because they get no value from me because I'm dumb. I get the value from them. So I'm not really the dumbest guy in that room. They're the dumbest guys letting me in the room.
That's called proximity. Get in the right rooms, whatever it takes. Be a dick, be curious, be humble, let go of the ego. It doesn't mean that you're not smart. It means that maybe you're a little smarter. So, Fred, final thought.
I mean, you nailed it. Bring back that 5-year-old curiosity. And if that's weird, just be a weirdo.
Be a weirdo. Whatever works. Get in the room. See you tomorrow. It's Friday, folks. Bye-bye.